All right, there are two ways you can estimate a product, and that's a multiplication problem, especially when the numbers are really large and you might not know what the answer is by just looking at it. So you're going to learn two strategies. One's called rounding and the other's called compatible numbers. All right, so say you had the problem 482 times 11. You might not know what that is off the top of your head, but you can get a good idea by estimating. So you're going to, again, we're going to do two strategies. The first one is called rounding. With rounding, you're not so much rounding to like your traditional rules. You're rounding to numbers that are easy in your head. So for this one, we have 482 times 11. So I would want to round 482 to the nearest hundred, which would be 500, and I'm going to round 11 to the nearest 10, because this is math that we can do in our head. Then I'm going to take the 5 and the 1, I'm going to go ahead and multiply that, that's going to be 5, because 5 times 1 is 5. Then I'm going to carry over, there are 1, 2, 3 zeros. 0 is going to go here, the other 0 is going to go here, and another 0 is going to go here. So for 482 times 11, we can guess that our answer is about 5,000. So when we do our math and our answer is not close to 5,000, then we have done something with our math. All right, second strategy is called compatible numbers. That's when you use numbers that are basic facts that you already know in your head. You might be very good with your 11s. If you're good with your facts and you know your 11s, you may not want to round and you may want to use compatible numbers instead. You'll still round the first number, and I will show you that. That's still close to 500, so I'm going to leave that the same as what we did with rounding. But instead of rounding the 11 to 10, I'm going to leave it 11 because I know all of my 11s. So I'm going to leave this 11. And then again, you circle the first digit in the 500. And then instead of circling the first digit, you'll circle the entire 11. 5 times 11, if you know your 11s, would be 55. And then you're going to bring down your other zeros. 0 here, 0 here. And so even though this is 5,000 and this is 5,500, it's pretty darn close to each other. And it just gives you an idea that if you were to do 482 times 11, it should be in the ballpark of about 5,000 or 5,500. Let's try another example. All right, so here's another example. We'll use a bigger number this time. We're going to use 3,485 times 24. All right, so in our first strategy, which is rounding, we would say, we're going to write the problem again, 3,485 times 24. We are going to round this first number so that it's easy in our head. So you're going to make it, it's closer to 3,000 than it is to 4,000, so I'm going to make it 3,000. And then on this number, it's closer to 20, so I'll round it to 20 here. And then we're going to just circle the first digit here, first digit here. 3 times 2 is 6, something I can do in my head. And then I'm going to take all the zeros and bring them down. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros are there, so I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we did the math of this, we can expect our answer to be in the range of 60,000. That's a huge number. Let's try using compatible numbers. Okay, our problem, 3,485 times 24. All right, the first number I'll still round to the nearest thousand. 3,000, 1, 2, 3, because 3,485 is closer to 3,000 than it is to 4,000. But the second number, I know my 25s pretty well, at least up to, 125. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a compatible number of 25. So we go back and we circle the 3, and I'm going to circle the entire 25. 3 times 25, I know in my head, is 75. and the 3 zeros I'll bring down, 1, 2, 3, and now they're not that close, but what it's telling you is when you do the math of 3,485 times 24, you should end up with a 5-digit number, pretty close to 60,000 up to 75,000. So that's a way to check your work on your multiplication. Now it's time for you to do this yourself. You can keep watching this video and over again until you get a good hang of it, and then figure out which way works for you. Do you prefer rounding? Do you prefer compatible numbers? Maybe you just interchange them both when it depends on the number that's the multiplier. All right, thanks for tuning in. Bye.